So, what's the deal with the lunch break? Hey guys, ECRG here, back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about what is the deal with the lunch break. And a lot of you guys may be new to clinical research, maybe new to the working world, maybe new to corporate America and how things work. But typically you get a lunch break. Actually, you're mandated by the government to get a lunch break. So what is the deal with it? Well, the deal with the lunch break is you get a certain amount of time, an hour, and the employer is mandated by the government to give you a lunch break. You need a break, and you can pretty much do with it as you may. Now, it depends on the company culture what you may be doing with it, because some companies, the culture is you work through your lunch break. It's time for lunch. Maybe it's 12, maybe it's 1 or 11:30, whenever you take your lunch break. Everyone is sitting there eating at their desk, working during their lunch break. Or others, everyone is allowed to do whatever they want. Some people leave the campus, they leave their desk, they come back however they feel. Maybe an hour later, maybe an hour and a half later, maybe even 2 hours later. Just depends. But typically the protocol goes as follows. You go with the flow, you see what other people are doing until you realize you can deviate. So go with the flow, see what other people are doing until you can deviate. And that means if somebody else takes an hour, then you know an hour is acceptable. If your boss takes an hour, you know an hour is acceptable. If your boss takes 30 minutes, then maybe you take 30 minutes and you realize it's acceptable. Now you kind of have to get the flow and see what people are doing. Are they taking 2 hours maybe? And are they going home an hour later than usual because they would rather have that 2 hours in between? Maybe they have to go home, walk the dog, make some lunch, and then they come back to work feeling refreshed. Maybe they go home, take a nap, make some lunch, whatever it is, and then come back to work. So everyone kind of utilizes their lunch break differently. And that's a lot different than some other environments you may be at. You probably have worked a part-time job in college, so you didn't really have a lunch break. You weren't really at work during the key hours of 9 to 5 or 10 to 6 or whatever hours you work. So this could be a little bit new for you and knowing what to expect. But I myself, I like to work at my desk. I don't really work during lunch because I eat pretty fast. So it only takes me about 10 minutes to eat or less. So I normally like watch a YouTube video or something during lunch. And then I might chill out for like 10 more minutes, watch some YouTube, and then I get back to work. But what I do sometimes is I do like to run errands sometimes. Maybe if I have to go like make a return or something, I will go do that during lunch. Or if I want to go get my hair cut real quick, I will do that during lunch. But most of the time I just sit at my desk and eat lunch. But this is one of the best arbitrages, by the way. We've talked about this a lot of times on the channel, is networking. The best arbitrage is to eat with other people at lunch in the cafeteria if you can. Especially if you're new to a company, you want to get in with good people because everyone, all levels, goes to eat in that cafeteria usually. So if you have a cafeteria that a lot of people go to eat at, make sure you're in there at lunchtime. That's how you meet people, and and that could be part of the company culture as well, where everyone leaves their desk at a certain time and goes down to the cafeteria and eats their food. Just depends where you're working in the company culture. So this is a question that somebody emailed to me, and I thought it was an interesting question, but I decided to go ahead and answer it. So, and I got my start in the clinical research industry as a contractor. So what they told us as a contractor was you take an hour a day. And it was actually pretty chill as a contractor because sometimes they'd be like, all right, you guys don't have to come in here until 10 a.m. and you leave normal time. Or they say, you know what, guys, you can leave an hour early. But typically we got an hour for lunch and we would leave, go somewhere for an hour and come back and, get right back to work. So that's pretty much the mindset when I got hired on full time. That's pretty much the mindset I adopted, was I have an hour for lunch a day. And, that's pretty much worked with the culture. But all the time I don't take that full hour. Sometimes I can't take that full hour because I'm working. Sometimes I actually need that time. Or if I'm, sometimes I need that time to call sites or call people or something. And I would rather, push off work, eating till a little bit later in the day when I know people are going to be more busy. So it kind of just depends. I flex my lunch all the time, but usually I wait to eat after 1 because if I do want to go out, that's when there's not going to be as much traffic. And that pretty much started when I was a contractor because we would go out to eat every single day. Don't recommend that. That's a huge waste of money, but that's what we did. And we go out to eat every single day. And one day, we went out at 12. Actually, it was the first couple of days we started going out at like 12, middle of the day. And we realized it was packed and we could never go anywhere. We could only go like right next to the office because of traffic, because we spent a lot of time in traffic. So then we flexed it. We pushed it back to going at like 1. There was no traffic on the road. Then we can go to a lot more places. So that's that. But all right, guys, I don't want to bore you with this long video. Lunch break. It's a big deal. People do all types of things with their lunch break, depending where you work. So look at the company culture, see what they do, and then deviate as you can. So as always, guys, email us eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com for any inquiries. Want your resume reviewed, email us to network, email us to possibly do some business together. And thank you guys for listening to this video. Take care.